I know nothing about skating other than a cool Star Wars skateboard toy I owned when I was a fetus, but back in the late 90s and early 2000s, skateboarding was big, and so was the most popular skateboarder, Tony Hawk. With such a big phenomenon, of course companies would want to take advantage of it to make some sweet cash. Activision assigned Neversoft to develop a Tony Hawk skateboarding game for the PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64. These systems made 3D home console games a possibility, so a quality skateboarder simulator could become a reality, and it sure was, because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 was critically acclaimed and sold like Animal Crossing during a worldwide pandemic. A ton of sequels and spin-offs of Pro Skater were made, with the quality decreasing over time thanks to stupid accessories and janky online-only functions. Thankfully, the series is seemingly returning to its former glory thanks to Pro Skater 1 Plus 2, which includes levels from the first two Pro Skaters with the improvements the series has made since those games, along with new features and music. The announcement of 1 Plus 2 has got me playing the original Pro Skaters, and I think I know why everyone loves these games now. I was originally going to cover each mainline Pro Skater game in their own video, but Pro Skater is one of those series where if you played one of them, you've played all of them minus a few tweaks here and there, so I'm just going to review the first three games in a broad stroke. I'm leaving out Pro Skater 4 since that shakes up the formula quite a bit, and I'm leaving out Pro Skater 5 because there's no way I'm spending $30 on a paperweight. There is no story to speak of in the Pro Skater games. You just skateboard through a few areas and that's it. Some might view this as negative, especially at a time where stories in video games are becoming more ambitious and cinematic, but I don't mind it. As awesome as it would be to see Tony Hawk skateboard his way through an epic quest to save the universe, Pro Skater didn't need it, as the gameplay, levels, and music more than made up for it. Also, let's be real here, who on earth buys sports games for the story that isn't named Victory Buster? The gameplay of the Pro Skater series has Hawk and the gang skateboarding as they do tricks and collect MacGuffins spread throughout an open level within a time limit of 2 minutes. On the PlayStation 1, you use square to speed up yourself, X to jump, or hold the button to crouch or do a higher jump, triangle lets you grind on rails, and circle lets you do tricks in the air. The skaters feel good to control, but the challenge of the game comes in the tricks. You gotta make sure you land on the floor properly and stay on balance, or else say goodbye to your combo points. Falling flat on your face in these games is painful, but you can easily get back up and continue hunting for collectibles and doing sick tricks. Or keep falling flat on your face like me. You can ignore the collectibles in the levels and just have fun exploring and doing tricks, but you have to complete objectives if you want to unlock more levels, like in Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie. I'm sure most people will be unlocking levels left and right, but not me, because as I mentioned before, I suck at Pro Skater. Despite my anti-cool skills, I think the difficulty curve makes sense for a skateboarding game when you think about it. Skateboarding is a very hard sport to do professionally in real life, with all the risks and injuries that come with it. I think Pro Skater captured this challenge in video game form well without making the game ridiculously unfun. While I do think the classic Tony Hawk Pro Skater games have amazing gameplay, what elevates the series to legendary status for me are the soundtracks. The Pro Skater series are famous for collecting a bunch of killer licensed songs for their soundtracks. I can't play any of the songs found in the game in this episode thanks to copyright, but trust me, they're really good songs. I like the first game's soundtrack the best, with my personal favorites including Superman by Goldfinger, Police Truck by the Dead Kennedys, New Girl by Suicide Machines, and Eurobarge by the Vandals. The soundtrack is one of the reasons I prefer Pro Skater 1 over the other two games, despite them including improved gameplay, controls, creating your own skater, and guest characters, but I feel like the progression system in the sequels felt bloated, with challenges that weren't as fun or rewarding to accomplish as the first game's challenges, despite the first game being smaller in the amount of them. I'm really glad I decided to check out the original Pro Skaters, as now I understand why people hail them as some of the best sports games and even the best video games of all time. I'd actually agree with the latter camp, as Pro Skater 1 is one of my top 10 favorite video games of all time now. The challenging yet fun skateboarding, the fun sandbox areas with lots of collectibles to get and stuff to do, along with some great uses of licensed music, makes the Pro Skater games a must-play. Now normally on the show I don't like praising games that aren't fully out yet, but I've decided to make an exception today. Chipotle was running an advertisement for a Tony Hawk taco. Now if you're one of the first 2,000 people to order the taco, like me, you would get access to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 Plus 2 demo. That was my first time ordering Chipotle, by the way. I didn't even eat the taco, I just gave it to my family instead. Now I can guarantee this game's at least going to be my top 3 games of the year, because this demo was very promising. The skateboarding feels on point with improvements like quicker recovery from bails, the environments are lovingly recreated in glorious HD, and the new additions to the soundtrack like Afraid of Heights are surprisingly good. I'm not sure if I'll review the full 1 Plus 2 game when it comes out, but for now, I hope this video has reignited your love or got you interested in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. I'm not sure what the future of Pro Skater is going to bring after 1 Plus 2, but I hope it's a bright one. And if it's not a bright future, then that's just Activision for you. Seriously, Bobby Kotick looks like he's going to eat my soul.